Welcome to the project, everyone. Today we're back to working on the sim rig, and we have a bunch of goodies to really level up our setup once again. So I've been loving the heck out of this. Haven't played as much as I wanted, but it's been great. There are some few things that we need to change, and look at all the goodies we have. I'm really excited for today. So let's get straight into it. Right here, this box, I am so excited for this. As you can see, Husenfeld, I think that's how you pronounce it. My first piece of Husenfeld kit, and this is really, as far as sim equipment, this is the only like actual equipment upgrade. Everything else is for the sim rig itself, but there we go, look at that. Husenfeld Handbrake. I'm so excited. So if you didn't know, for my Handbrake setup, I've tried the Fanatec, I've tried the Sparco sequential shifter one. That's what I had for a long time. And I decided finally, since we moved to the new solid rig, I haven't had an e-brake. So I figured this would be the best thing to get. They got some stickers in there, products manual, and the actual handbrake. It's pretty good. Yeah, and see, that's perfect. So I really want a load cell handbrake, and they even have a little bit of spring, so it still feels like that natural pull. I probably will turn this around and have it in the upright position, but we also got to figure out how to mount this. But this already, like, this feels so good. I'm excited for this. Let's open up the rest of the boxes. So all this other stuff, again, is from Advanced Sim Racing, which is where my rig is made from. And they're just a bunch of good upgrades for the rig, but we'll go through them one by one and kind of tell you why I went about it the way I did. So here's one of the big ones, casters. I realized with how heavy this thing is, we really need to put some casters on there. So okay, so we have all of the pieces out, and we'll just go through them really quick. Where to even start? So I guess, yes, casters. So we have casters so that we can actually move it around. This thing is so heavy, and these leveling feet are okay, but like, if you want to move it at all, you need casters. And then back here, we have a DD mount with the CSL DD adapter in case I want to move to that. I just got everything in one go. We have two headphone hooks that'll go on there. I want to use one probably for headphones and one for the VR. Got a cup holder. So what happened is I bought everything in like the kit, the upgrade kit or whatever, and that was part of it. It was a little bit cheaper. We got clips for wire management so we can actually manage some of our wires. You got angle bracket kit because I did break some of the beauty plates and I want to have more stuff in the future in case I need to modify things. A bunch of T-nuts. We also got a handbrake plate. So this would be perfect. Hopefully between what we have, we can actually mount the handbrake like I want. We got a base shaker bar, essentially. So this is typically will go back here, but I got this because the way I have my pedals mounted, I actually needed something like this for the pedals. I don't know if we'll use it, but I do have it, and eventually I do want to do base shaker. We have the, what do they call this? This was the power strip hider or something. I believe the way this is supposed to work is you mount it under like this, and then you put your power strips and stuff under here, and then this will kind of hide it. Hopefully that's useful. That just came in the kit. This I'm really excited for. This is a mouse pad, which, I mean, even right here, you can tell my mouse setup has not been good at all. For the mouse, I've been keeping it right here, but we really need to figure out a better solution because it falls all the time and it is so annoying. We got a shifter plate, which we might use if we can adjust this. I want the shifter just over like another inch or so. Lastly, we have this big old plate. So this is supposed to be like a floor that you can put, and then you can step on this to get in and out. And I think this will be a huge upgrade. All right, so first let's get these casters on it so at least we can move it around and work on it a bit better from there. I will say, here. So just taking a quick gander at these casters, I do know that these were out of stock for a long time, and then they finally came in. It looks like probably not any ball bearings, plastic or like plastic molded part down in there, but it does have little ball bearings here, and you can lock it, so should be good. They didn't give us any screws or any nuts, but we can, oh yeah, never mind, they did. Great, let's get these going. If you're wondering, the leveling feet is a different size for the casters, so these nuts will not fit on the casters. And also, these lock washers and stuff are huge for these casters. Like, I don't know, I'm not sure how exactly they want me to put these on. I don't know, we'll figure it out. Alright, well, we're here in the garage because this caster kit does not make any sense to me. So we have one nut, we've got a lock washer, and then we've got a washer. And the washer is like for the wrong size. It is so big. It's so big that the nut that like is built into this stud at the bottom, it like hardly fully makes contact. Like you can turn it on its side. So I have no idea how to mount this up. Again, every caster only has these three parts. So I have no idea how to hook this up. If we had two washers, then I would put, you know, a washer underneath, a washer on top. And the other thing too is this lock washer is like the same size as the washer, but again, now this nut is way too small for that. So that stuff makes no sense to me. I might just try to find a washer for each, and then I'll put a washer underneath and use a washer on top, and that might get me satisfied for right now. But I mean, this is just a little crazy. See, like there, that is a good size washer, and it's like it's a little bit smaller than the one they provided, but at least it's pretty tight around the bottom there. There's two of those, 5/16. I don't know if I have 4 of them. Alright, well, went to the hardware store and got some better washers, so show you what we got. This is the old setup here, and after playing around at the store, I think this is an M10 thread, and these must be like M12s or something because they're just too big. So I did get these smaller M10 washers, and those fit on decent. But these are like 15/16 or something. Oh no, 3/8. These are 3/8 flat washers, and they're a lot bigger, and they're black. So I think I'm just gonna do 2 of these, one top, one bottom. And I also got some lock washers for these if I want to run lock washers. And that should be pretty good. So let's go put these on. Okay, so we got the casters on, and honestly I can say it moves around a lot easier. So the caster's already amazing, and now we can move it around and work on it a bit easier. I think next what we want to do is work on this plate right here. So this originally was for the pedals, and if you watched the last video, when we actually put this all together, the pedals, we basically inverted most of the things that went with the pedals. So the way it's working right now, it's mounted up there on the front, it's zip tied on this bar, and then this back plate it's pushing down against. And the problem with this plate is there's this nice lip right here, so when you're trying to step in and out of it, it gets right in the way, and you just like wreck your foot on that when you're trying to step in and out, especially without shoes. So that's where we got their floor plate, and I think the dimensions are good enough, or like, I think we have this set up perfect, so if we mount the floor on the bottom here, it should still work just as good as that, except give us a nice flat surface to step on when getting in and out of it. And we could maybe even just move that guy backwards and have like a full floor, but we'll have to look at it. So let's get the new floor apart and start looking at it. We got a nice floor in now. You can see there's no holes in it. We have the plate down there that we put in, and then we put this plate up on top. And this is a lot thicker than that one. So they say you can step on that one, but most of the time we will be stepping on this one. And now there's no sharp edges, except for right there. I think the next thing to tackle is actually mounting our little subwoofer. So I don't know if I put this in the last video, but I just put in some simple speakers up here using little T-slots on the side of the CSL DD. And the subwoofer with that fit under the seat, but it's not actually part of it. So it's sitting on the floor. So if I can get that up and into the sim rig itself, then I can just push the sim rig around and not have to worry about it. So I'm thinking this bass shaker bar might actually be perfect. If we mount it down under like this, then maybe we can just set the subwoofer on top of it. So let's get going on that. I think that might be where we're in tonight. Before we even have enough room for the plate, we got to take off these little feet because I'm putting the sub upside down so that way it'll kind of fire into the bottom of the seat. But it's not going to work with these feet. So I figured out what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to use my shifter plate, which is way thicker than we need. And then down here, we'll have the bar coming across. Shifter plate here, so instead of the sub sitting on top of the bar, it's going to sit on this plate, which will give us more surface area to hold it, but it's just going to be a little tight down in here. So work with me on the camera angle, and let's try to get this put together. Okay, so for now, I couldn't put the shifter plate on there because the size of the T-nuts that go on that bar is actually different than the rest of my rig. So I don't have any T-nuts for it, but I put the bar back because, again, I just need to clear the bar on the front of the seat. So now I'm going as far back as I can. The only issue is the cord going to it might be a little bit short, but when we get to cable management, then we will deal with that then. But so we got the bar down there, we got the sub in here, and probably VHB or something to keep it from rattling around, but at least we got a sub in. Okay, so I think some sleep really helped me out here because, again, we put the bar back here to put the sub in, and I totally forgot I got this whole plate here. Now this came with like the upgrade kit or bundle, and they said I think it's to like mount power strips like this down, and then you can like hide your power bricks and stuff. But this should work out great if we go like this, and then maybe we can put the sub here and even still put our power strip and stuff down in there. So let's see if this plate will work a bit better. So when playing around with this, I was going to use this bar to push up against and then have the sub sitting on this plate. And I thought this would totally work, bar up front, plate in back, but the plate is hitting up against the caster landing plate, whatever, because that's also bolted on the bottom. Bar is in between, so the bar can go back further, but the plate doesn't go back far enough like that. So now I need to rework everything yet again, so that way this bar needs to go in back now. Okay, hopefully I can kind of show you guys why that was so difficult. So we have the base shaker bar in the back here, and we've got the plate for the power strip plate, and then all of those capture the subwoofer to stay in here. Here's the power cord for it. So now hopefully we can just kind of put in our, I mean, I honestly don't know if this is gonna fit. You know, just kind of stick this down in here for power of all our different things. And then we can finally have most of it hidden away, which will be awesome. But man, that was a bit of a juggling act to get that all in there. But we did it. All right, so I think the next step is to really start figuring out our mouse pad, our e-brake setup, and shifter all in there. So here's our mouse pad. This feels like it might be aluminum, but it is pretty light, so. Nope, it's acrylic with some holes drilled in it to flush mount. So, man, I don't want to push the shifter up further, but. All right, so here's the e-brake, the handbrake plate. Let's see what's in here finally. We might want to sacrifice how close this is to the Crosstrek or the Z to be able to fit everything. So what I'm wondering is if we could fit it on this side and up a little bit enough to be able to then mount the e-brake like pretty close. I'm tempted to maybe have it be like a pull up or like a up, full up like that, but I'm not sure. All right, now that we have these out, let me play with them a little bit. All right. I think I have this figured out like I want off camera. I put this shifter plate back on and there is a screw into the shifter here. So the shifter is rock solid. And I also, here I can show you guys underneath. I also put some 45s in there, some 90 degree brackets to help support the mouse tray here, just because it felt a little weak. And then, yeah, I put the plate there. And what I am, oh yeah, also cup holder, should be decent. But what I'm ecstatic about is, look, I fit the Hussenfeld, not the Husqvarna, the Hussenfeld e-brake right in between the bar for the shifter and my seat. And when I'm in there, oh, it feels so good. I am so ecstatic on how that turned out. And we basically kept the shifter in the same spot, so it should be dang close to the Z and the Crosstrek. And I know this isn't standard in a street car with it sticking straight up, but it's in the perfect spot to easily grab and use for rally and whatnot. But then it's out of the way and like out of mind when we're doing like LMP2 and that kind of a thing. So I am absolutely thrilled with this spot on there. And you can see we just used the provided plate that came with the Handbrake, and then mounted it directly to our main profile down there. And I did clock it 1 over, as you can see there. So middle on the back, or the first one on the back, and then 1 over on the front, and that gives it the perfect clearance. This Hussenfeld e-brake, they have put so much thought into it. It's really adjustable, and I haven't even used it, and I already love it. So really happy with how this came out. And then the last 2 steps is figuring out where we want our hooks for our headphones and VR, and then cable management. We have a decent bit of cable management to do. So instead of blabbing to you guys, let's get to it. So we got both the headphone mounts mounted up on there. They're basically the same size, or the same height on either side. I don't know if I quite like the position, but we'll see how it goes from here. The next step, finally the last step, is dealing with all of this ugly wiring. So it's finally time for the wire management stage. Got a bunch of clips that should fit into these T slots, and let's just get to it and see what we can do. Wire management is finally done, and we're so close to actually trying this out. But first, let me show you my thoughts through doing the wire management. So over here, most of the wires are coming out of the back of the DD. So essentially what I did is I ran power on this side. So we got power coming up towards the back, on the back side of the upright, so that way from the front, while you're sitting you can't see it at all. And then on this side is all the communication. So you can see communication coming down here. So we have USB for the DD, we've got the pedals, and we've got the shifter coming all down into here. And then the handbrake back in here connects into the communication. So then we have 2 USBs coming out towards the back there. We do have some audio in here, and that's the other thing, is the audio comes down on that side. So then the power comes down the upright there, and then it actually comes underneath here. So that way it's out of the way. And then down in here is kind of my power distribution area. So I have a strip in here. We have the power brick for the DD right there. But it does allow me right here to turn on and off the whole rig if I really need to. And we got the powered USB hub right here with those 2 USBs for the e-brake and for the DD. Which brings us to the only connections we should have is power for it and USB for it, and then there is one more for the display. But with that, everything is down in here. In there it's a little messy, but it's pretty tight. We have the pedal cable is coming out right there, and then goes underneath and comes out up right here. But overall, I think that's pretty nifty. It's pretty tight. I will say the one thing I do not like is right here. The really cheap speakers that I bought have like white in the cables, and so it just looks terrible there. But other than that, that's looking pretty good. For the communication side, I had it come back in the front here, so it'll be blocked by the speaker. But I think that should be good. Rolls around, nothing's dragging, everything's tied to it real tight, and then we just have a couple connections. Let's hook it up and try it out, because I am so excited for this. I'm so excited for the e-brake. It's the perfect position, it feels great. Yeah, let's hook it up. Okay, so I can tell you guys already, I love this. Having the e-brake, you can see it right here. E-brake, boom. It's on, it's off. And it is in such a good position. It's out of the way. I'm not going to bump it with anything. I could reach everything I want, but just right there, boom, grab the e-brake and we're off. We also got cup holder, which is awesome, and like everything just flows so well. I even set my phone down over here. I don't know what to do with my keyboard quite yet, but so far this is great. I do wish the mouse was up higher because I tend to like have a bad posture with it, but I can maybe make a mount or something for that. But overall, I am so happy with this so far. It's so good. Two things to note though, right here, the edges on this, it's like some kind of polycarbonate in between and then two pieces of aluminum, like really thin aluminum. And just, if you've ever really tried to cut thin aluminum, every time you try to like round off an edge, it just kind of drags it out more because it's so soft and so thin. So there's a little bit of a sharp edge on these here. I don't know if they can really deal with it that well, but so far, I don't know. It's not too big of a deal, but just a little annoying. Also, with my e-brake, I was not able to get the e-brake to work for a bit. It kept having USB issues until I replaced the cable that came with it. So, I mean, that's a little bit of a bum deal. They just gave us a bad cable, but overall, now it's working, and it was a lot more plug and play once I got that figured out. So, to test this out is what is a little truck that I came up with. It's my off-road truck, but then I like really thinned it down, you know, so no doors, no fenders, that kind of a thing, and just really big old tires. So we do have it in two-wheel drive with the rear differential locked up in there. We don't have a ton of power, but at least, you know, we can show the e-brake working a little bit. You know, so like if we come here, manual 1, see, look, a little bit of e-brake working on there. Not saying my driving skills can back it up, but figure we go for, you know, a little drive. This corner is always so hard. And those big beefy tires don't necessarily have a ton of feedback. Oh. I'm just going to e-brake every single corner I can. I will say the modulation on the e-brake is awesome. I really enjoy this e-brake so far. And I've only used it for 5 minutes, but the fit and finish on it, oh, it's awesome. And then having everything cable managed in this is just makes it feel so much better. I can like move the rig around. I can just use it without having to worry about tripping on anything. And finally have my mouse on me at all times. And the shifter's a lot more rigid, so I can really pound on that. I will say one thing. While I'm driving, I can feel the entire sim rig moving, but every piece on the sim rig is solid. And I haven't locked down the wheels, so I could probably help mitigate that a bit if I locked all the wheels down once I get it into place. But, I mean, that just kind of adds to it. And the sub, I can feel the sub, especially if I turn it up, I can feel the sub on my butt. So, that is good stuff. And again, e-brake is working. And I do have to put a bit of force into that, and I can adjust it. I might put in the stiffer polymers, but for now, I mean, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. If anyone wants a hard corner to do, this corner is honestly just kind of a tough one. Jump, jump, jump. Not really. Whoops. Whoops. Maybe get my wife's opinion. The glorious handbrake right here. Which I honestly love that position.
This is not what I thought the Handbrake was going to look like.
I don't know, but it does.
It's got holes in it.
Yeah, it's a fancy
Alright.
handbrake.
So I can drive now?
Yep, manual car, rear-wheel drive.
Rear-wheel drive so that I can rip the e-brake. Oh, God. I actually don't really know how to use an e-brake well.
Well, for manuals, you just got to put it in the clutch when you pull the e-brake.
Oh. I promise I'm better at driving manuals in real life.
There's a corner up here.
I meant to do that. I want to go back this way.
I'm surprised you even can still drive it. You hit that pretty hard.
Nope. I just love tap.
You might be missing a tire.
I'm missing a tire?
You might be.
It's driving pretty good for missing a tire. Wow.
Yeah, the motor died.
That's okay. It feels good. This e-brake is kind of hard to pull. But I guess that's how it would be in real life, huh?
Yeah.
Is there like a parking lot here?
Boom, 180.
I kind of crashed it.
You did kind of crash it.
No, it's good. That's just if you have like a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. Alright, so what's your rating of it?
A 10. This is quite the thing.
Yeah, do you like my position of the e-brake?
Yeah, I think that's a good spot, and this is a good spot.
Awesome.
And these hooks are nice, so that there won't be cables everywhere.
So how many thumbs up do I get? 2 thumbs up?
2.
Okay.
Both
there we
of
go.
them.
Love it. That wraps it up for this project. I'm really excited to put all these on here. Finally, the rig is a lot more usable like this, and I'm really excited. It really has, like, upgraded the experience a ton. I honestly super happy with having the Husenfeld, or however you pronounce it, e-brake. It feels way better than every other e-brake I've had. It's just such quality, and I can't. Can you see me gushing about this? I'm just really happy with how this has all turned out. I might adjust these hooks a little bit, but other than that, I mean, I think we're good to go for many, many hours of great playtime and great practice. So glad you guys came with us on this project. I hope you hit the subscribe button so we can see you the next time. I will have links down in the description just to find all the different parts and whatnot. And so happy you guys were here for this, here with us. So happy, yeah, man. It's been a long day, but so happy you guys are here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.